The government established the Rural Electrification Program in 1973 with the aim of subsidizing electricity supply in rural areas. This was upon realization that, although electricity is an important input in the socio-economic development of the country, many parts of the country could not get electricity on the basis of economic viability. In 2002, it was observed that despite the Rural Electrification Program having been in place for more than 30 years, only about 4% of the rural population in Kenya had electricity supply in their homes. It is as a result of this low connectivity that the government, through the Economic Recovery Strategy of 2003 and Sessional Paper No. 4 on Energy, undertook to accelerate the pace of rural electrification in the country. Rural Electrification Authority (REA) was created as a special purpose agency to accelerate the pace of electrification in the rural areas.
REA became operational on July 2007. That is when the first board of directors was established. In 2007-08, we did not do any project implementation. We were basically setting up the organization. But in 2009, we started operating. And the first thing we did was to come up with our first strategic plan, which was covering the period 08-09, 2012-2013.
The typical energy consumption patterns in Kenya rely heavily on wood fuel and other biomass products, and there is a concerted effort to shift this reliance to cleaner, safer, and more sustainable energy sources. Vision 2030. The country's development blueprint aims at providing a high quality of life to all citizens without exception, with the ultimate aim being the transformation of our country into a rapidly industrialized middle-income nation by the year 2030. Vision 2030 has also singled out electricity as one of the drivers of a high quality of life, and this will only be possible once every Kenyan has access to electricity connectivity.
A country can never develop without electricity. If you go anywhere in the world, those countries which are developed, literally they have electricity all over. So electricity is an important component of development. You cannot do any small-scale activities without electricity.
Since its establishment in 2006, and through the implementation of numerous projects in all parts of the country, REA has played a major role in increasing the level of access to electricity for all in the rural areas, in support of the government's goal to have universal access to electricity for all Kenyans by 2030. The overall objective of the Rural Electrification Development Agenda is to spur economic growth and social development in the rural areas. Operations at the Rural Electrification Authority are guided by its mission and vision statements that provide direction towards achievements of its mandate. REA maintains its overall core values while undertaking all their activities and operations, always adhering to the guiding principles by being customer-driven, upholding integrity, upholding professional excellence, embracing teamwork, transparency and accountability, maintaining environmental consciousness. The mandate of the authority is to accelerate rural electrification in the country in order to promote sustainable socio-economic development. Under the Energy Act, REA is mandated to manage the Rural Electrification Program Fund, develop and update the Rural Electrification Master Plan, and promote the use of renewable energy sources including small hydros, wind, solar, biomass, and hybrid systems, taking into account specific needs of diverse areas and activities across the country. Since its creation, REA has been implementing rural electrification projects under two main categories, that is, extension of the grid in areas within the electricity network and through the use of innovative solutions for electrification in off-grid areas. During the first strategic plan period between 2008-2009 to 2012-2013, REA's goal was to connect three main public facilities, namely secondary schools, trading centers, and health centers. In the first phase of its implementation plan, running from 2008 to 2013, REA has focused on connecting all public facilities, including schools, health centers, market centers, community waterworks, and administrative centers in rural areas. Connection of these facilities was to enable provision of better services and facilities in rural areas and empower local communities to start income-generating activities for employment creation.
Those are the 3 facilities which we focused on over the first 5 years. By 2012-13, we had reached about 85% of those 3 main public facilities. In total, we can say we have covered about 70% of all the public facilities in the country. And I think by the time REA was established, the coverage was below 30%.
One of the major challenges of rural electrification is extending electricity to areas that are far away from the national grid. In line with its goal of lighting up rural Kenya, REA adopted a multi-pronged approach to provide electricity to off-grid areas. That includes the use of isolated diesel stations, solar voltaic systems, 120-kilometer 66 kilovolt power line from the Turkwell hydro station to Lokicha to service the area where oil has been discovered, and construction of solar mini-grids. The off-grid counties are Wajir, Mandera, Marsabit, Turkana, Lamu, and Garissa. REA has also undertaken the hybriding of diesel power stations with solar and wind in Takaba, Eldas, Ramu, and Laisamis, with an ultimate plan to hybrid all diesel stations to make them more sustainable by reducing the overall operational costs. The electrification process in Kenya has encountered various challenges, including population dispersion and sparse human settlements, making provision of electricity to many areas in the country through grid extensions very expensive, rough terrain, acquisition of waylives, insecurity, community conflict, vandalism of materials, natural disasters that compromise the infrastructure, areas infested with pests, and soil conditions that affect the strength of the poles.
Challenges tulikuwa na mingi kwa sababu trailer haingefika kwa site juu barabara tena ni mbaya. Ilibidi sasa nisafirisha na pickup yangu about 10 kilometers ndio ifika kwa site. Kama sio vile nilikuwa na roho ngumu, hii kazi haingefanyika. Na niwapongeza watu wa REA, inafanya kazi mzuri sana. Juu kama hapa hata watu wa hapa hawangefaidika na hiyo stima kama sio REA.
Prior to electrification, Kenyans in rural areas faced various challenges in their day-to-day activities.
Kabla tupate stima, nilikuwa natumia kaila ya kawaida, ila ya kuweka mafuta taa.
My business wasn't that good. I was unable to work for long hours.
Tulikuwa tunapata wateja yani wachache kabisa kwa juu. Hata kuna wakati mvua ikiamuka yani inanyesha, tulikuwa tunapata customer 2, 3 hivyo kwa juu ya kukosa stima.
Electricity has affected my business in a positive way. I'm in a position to sell higher volumes for longer hours, and consistency of electricity has boosted my welding workshop mightily.
Niliona ya stima ikiwa na manufaa sana kwangu, kwa vile imenisaidia tuseme kwa light, kusoma kwa watoto, nimeweka kinyozi, imenisaidia sana.
Makastoma wamekuwa wengi kwa juu, hata masaa imepanda juu. So sai stima kabisa, tunaweza shukuru Mungu yani. Ningependa kushukuru sana tena sana REA kwa kuniwekea stima kwa hii biashara yangu ya kinyozi.
I'd love to thank Rural Electrification Authority for connecting my business with electricity, thus improving my livelihood and my community at large.
To date, numerous households, businesses, and public facilities are able to run smoothly, safely, and cost-effectively through the use of electricity. Through the regional offices of Northern Kenya, Nairobi Eastern Region, Central Rift Region, Coast, Mount Kenya Region, West Kenya Region, Nyanza Region, and South Nyanza Region, coupled with a highly trained, focused, motivated, and well-equipped staff or REA, the authority has made great achievements in increasing access to electricity and connectivity in rural areas across the country. The three main achievements of REA under its mandate are the increase in number of public facilities that have been electrified, the electrification of trading centers in off-grid areas, and the electrification of public primary schools throughout the country. The number of public facilities with electricity, that is, secondary schools and health facilities, increased from below 30% in 2008 to about 70% currently. Several institutions have been installed with solar systems in Marsabit, Samburu, Isiolo, Wajir, Mandera, Garissa, Lamu, and Turkana counties during the plan period. In Biamadho, the area has benefited from a pilot solar mini-grid with great impact on the small community, as power was something they really wanted and needed in their daily activities.
So it will help education, it will help the business sector. There are small bosho mills and electricity here. There's a borehole here which needs electricity. There's a AP camp here which needs electricity. So we believe that it will help the economy to grow.
If you go to a place like Habaswein, which is, I believe, is not far from here, Wajir, Mandera, we have diesel generators. But these stations are very expensive in terms of capital cost and also the ORDM. So what we have done as REA is to move away from those diesel generators to what we are calling renewable energy. And this Biamadho project was a pilot project for us to see how it will operate. And what we have seen now, it is actually doing very well. And as a result of this one, we are doing other 25 similar stations in the 5 off-grid counties.
The number of trading centers in off-grid areas that now have access to electricity has increased from about 12 by the time REA was established to more than 100 trading centers currently, thereby taking us even closer to the goal of electricity for all. In the period between 2013 and 2016, following the first strategic plan, REA's focus shifted to the electrification of all public primary schools to support the government's digital literacy program. This noble undertaking has not only supported learning in primary schools, but has also resulted in electricity getting even closer to Kenyans in rural areas. A total of 23,357 public primary schools throughout the country have been connected through the grid system and also using solar photovoltaic systems for schools far away from the grid.
Come 13-14, when the new government came into place, there was the focus now on primary schools. That has been our main focus from 2013-14 up to now.
When I came in this school in 2013, the school was in chaos because the area where we are, most of the time we have snakes. And sometimes we were being worried that these people are going outside, they have nothing unless dim torches they were using in the classes. But right now we have no problem because we have the rights all over. I want to thank the Rural Electrification Authority for the excellent work that they have done in this school as they continue working for our dear country, Kenya.
The authority's policy is to undertake programs that positively impact on the rural communities to promote the well-being and livelihoods of these communities. The aim of the interventions is to provide lasting benefits to communities closely related to REA's work. The CSR strategy focuses on the environment, water, education, health and sports. To comply with the provisions of the country's new constitution, the Ministry of Energy has prepared a new energy policy and bill, which has enhanced the mandate of REA in the promotion and development of renewable energy. The Energy Bill also proposes that the authority take a leading role in renewable energy, coupled with a change of name from Rural Electrification Authority to Rural Electrification and Renewable Energy Corporation, REREC. REA will put more focus on the use of renewable energy for electrification of public facilities and households in off-grid areas. Given the enhanced mandate under the proposed Energy Bill, the strategic objectives outlined in the new strategic plan of 2016-2017 to 2020-2021 are to develop and promote renewable energy sources, to increase electricity connectivity in the whole country, the establishment of strategic partnerships in the implementation of renewable energy technologies, the strengthening of institutional capacity, as well as laying a foundation towards achieving financial sustainability.
How I would see Rural Electrification Authority in future is concentration on renewable energy. Our harnessing on solar energy has been very, very low. So what we have come up with as a Rural Electrification Authority is a strategy of how to harness renewable energy in the future, and we'll be concentrating very much into that particular area. And we want to see every home in this country taking advantage of that, and we can see ourselves thinking about commissioning a plant to make solar panels and making them affordable, such that every household in this country will be utilizing some part of solar energy.
What I would want to say is to thank the government for the support they have continued to provide, especially in terms of funding. So far, since REA started, I think up to this financial year, we have had a total budget of 83 billion. And largely this is mainly from within the country. It has enabled each part of this country to get power. And I think now this will stimulate economic development in the country.
REA is devoted to ensuring that the entire country is electrified, in keeping with the development goals of the country as a whole. REA for better lives.